Welcome to Find Your Fridays. How you going? It's good to have you with me and sharing space today. I'm looking forward to seeing where our evening takes us for sure. Okay, let's have a look at that. Oh, too far. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Woohoo! Hello, Melinda. How are you? Hello. All right, that's got that all sorted. Let's chuck this one up. Woo! Let's chuck that up. And let's get rid of that. And then we go, hello. Feel a bit like Miss Doubtfire when I say it like that. Oh dear. How has your week been, Melinda? I hope it's been good and that you've been treating yourself. Hello, Edwina. Hello, my darling. Hope you all are doing super well. The after eclipse energies have treated you kindly, because we all know they can be a bit rough sometimes, especially when there's stuff that we're trying to avoid looking at. And it just, eclipses and things are very, very good at just smacking us over the head, isn't it? Just going, yeah, no, we're not going to let you ignore that one again. Oh dear. And you just sit back and you go, okay, I'll do that thing. I'll look at that thing. All right. If I have to. Okay. Let me see. How would I sum up my week? It has been an experience. I've had lots of pretty good moments. I've had a couple of little wobbles in there. I've had a little bit of car trouble with the work car on Thursday, so that was a bit exciting. Nothing major, just a coolant leak that I finally picked up, and from when the radiator was replaced a couple of months back. And one of the hose clips wasn't tight enough, so I had to take it to a different mechanic, and yeah, so that was a little bit exciting. It was 2 hours late for one of my shifts. Fun. So yeah. But there's been lots of good little moments, and it's going to be a very nice full weekend, and I'm looking forward to that. Lots of good, yummy stuff happening, and including a couple of sessions in there, and I'm helping out a lady with the last little bit of her organisation job that I'm just sort of doing as a friend. So I'm looking forward to that, and just enjoying spending some time in between that, just enjoying doing my crochet, and I've got an inspection on Tuesday, so that that involves just doing those little fine-tuning things. Yeah. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that you're enjoying your new job, Edwina. That is so good. It's good to hear. I had an interesting moment watching, what was it I'm watching? I was watching a episode of Diary of a CEO with Vanessa Von Edmonds. No, Von William? Von Edmonds. And it was really fascinating. She's somebody who's an expert on body language. So hi, Juanita. Lovely to have you with us today. And yeah, it was really interesting watching that today, watching/listening, because I was doing crochet at the time, just having some downtime. And it was so good because one of the things that she was talking about is things like this, what we do here. And it was really nice to know that this distance that I have from my little camera is actually quite perfect. Because it doesn't make you feel like I'm really in your face, and it's quite welcoming. Whereas, and I have to be a little bit more mindful of like when I'm holding up cards and stuff. Like you guys still require to see the cards, so I'm quite happy to do that and hold them forward more than me. But if I was to put my face up there, it'd be like, whoa, Lorene, that's a bit close. You're in my personal space zone, man. Just back up a little bit, you know. So it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. Started looking a little bit more seriously at my trip to Canada next year. So looking at flights and what that's going to cost and stuff, because the prices have been coming down, which is really lovely. When I looked about 3 years ago, that was going to cost about $5,000 for a round trip. Now it's down to from Adelaide to Edmonton was a $5,000 round trip. Now it's down around 2.5, so it's dropped by like half. So that's really exciting, far more manageable. So that's sort of brewing in the background at the moment. It's very exciting. So I'd love to know, what have you guys been creating this week? What have you guys been sinking your teeth into? I'd love to know. Pop it in the chat. That would be so cool. Let's get some more clarity around this shuffling, Lorene. Okay. So what is it, the 26th today? So the 27th through to the 3rd of October. The day after my brother's birthday. Fabulous. Ooh. Okay, you can come out. Juanita, fantastic news. Well done. I bet you that's a big weight off your mind. For those of you who haven't seen, celebrating you finally got a unit. Woohoo! That is brilliant. Congratulations, Juanita. That is so super cool. And celebrating Edwina, because even though she's been busy, she's really enjoying her new job. So yay. And Melinda's also had a great week. I watched a movie today called Next. It was a Nicolas Cage movie where he could perceive 2 minutes into his own future. And then when he got to be around this beautiful lady who he had perceived, who he had seen, he was able to stretch out his abilities much, much further, and up to like even 2 hours in the future. And then he was able to, as he practiced more with it, he was able to then look at all the different futures all at once. And I was just like, wow, that's so super cool. And then I was thinking to myself, you know, we kind of do that in this space. And that's exciting to me because when we do these readings, they are only in the space of what are you choosing at this moment. That's why I love the runes, because it's really acknowledging the fact that if you choose something differently, and it will change the outcome. So if you don't like the outcome of what it is at the moment, you can choose something different and it'll change the outcome. And it's like, oh, it's giving you back that permission of choice. It's like nothing is actually necessarily stuck in stone, and was set in stone, which is really nice actually. Ironically, because it's runes, but anyway. Let us have a look at these cards for the collective for this week to come. All right. So this week to come doesn't have any funky things as far as I know. It's, although I think we might have still a little bit of comet stuff happening at the moment, but apart from that, like meteor shower type stuff. But apart from that, we haven't got any full moons, new moons, no eclipses. We're working still with the, I think there's 7 planets that are coming into alignment. Maybe they're sort of reaching their apex, or it's like near the end of that now. So there's that, which is part of the reason why everything has felt so heightened. All of the emotions have felt heightened. All of the tiredness has felt heightened. The feeling of frustration, the not wanting to put up with other people's BS, all of that has definitely been up over this last month or so. And that's definitely due to Hi, Tamara, and that's definitely due to all of the planetary stuff that's been going on. We've got this beautiful space that we're in at the moment of being in the 4D, which means all of our emotions are very much at the fore right now. Yay. And it's just important to remember all of that as we move through these energies and these emotions, and take time to sit with them as they come up, right? So I think I might have told you guys about the 90-second technique. Keep remembering that one. So Tamara said she had a son who desperately needed to decompress after being at his dad. It's been a glorious week otherwise. Oh, wonderful. Not so wonderful about your son having to decompress, but it's lovely that you recognize that. And I'm sure in time you'll be able to teach him how to not get so wound up, how to be more in allowance of the energies at his dad's, all that sort of stuff. Because you're the expert, right? You've been there. You know how to cope with it. And also, once he gets to an age where he can make his own choices, whether he stays there or not, well, that's cool too. We have ginger and peppermint today. That is the tea of choice. All right. Ooh, we've got a lot of purple today for the collective. Purpley colors. All right. So even though everything is kind of like sort of chilling out, sort of, the first card that came up is plum, which is talking about overcoming challenges. But when I look at this card, what I actually see in here is doors opening. Okay, so the challenges are like all this misty, foggy stuff at the front. And what I really perceive with this one for this week is there's going to be a lot of openings, a lot of possibilities that are going to come to you this week. You're going to see them maybe as little moments, little sparkles of light, little like this. It's like a little sparkle of light, right? So it'll be like not exactly hidden possibilities, but just not smacking you in the face possibilities. You might have to look a little bit more carefully for them, but they're going to be there this week. So just have your eyes open, be aware, and just take note of the signs, the signals, the synchronicities, the moments where your body is like, ooh, or just take note of all of those things and see where it goes. Okay. Juanita's been seeing purple. Tamara said, I just create a space where he feels safe and let it all go. They spend 3 hours a week. They only spend 3 hours a week. Maeve. Now I've got Maeve Binchy in my head. Who, if you don't know, she's an author who wrote some, I guess, romance novels. But not. Oh, are they just romance? I guess they are just romance, but they're certainly not like a what are those ones called? I've got Hallmark in my head, but that's not the right one. Mills and Boon. They're not like Mills and Boons. They're a lot more tame than that. A bit more PC. So anyway, Mauve, which is enjoy clear hearing. So whenever we get the Mauve, the clear hearing card come up, this is a sign to listen, to watch out for what might be happening with your ears this week. And I don't mean being aware of loud noises. I actually mean being aware of the soft, gentle noises, the soft, gentle tickles on your ear from your spirit team, from the wind, from the earth, from the trees. And you might be actually feeling them and hearing them a hell of a lot clearer this week. Okay. So just take note of that. Okay. Sorry, Melinda, I didn't neglect you completely. So you said that you were pulling weeds, filling the green bin that was collected today. Well done. Love it. And house and chores and working. I have my first year anniversary for being a PCF tomorrow. Oh, gosh, that year's gone so fast. So fast. Oh, Tamara, no, there's nothing wrong with a good Mills and Boon. I think there's far more interesting things out there in the market these days, but I spent a lot of my teenage years reading Mills and Boon. So yes, clear hearing, my friends. This is a reading for the collective, so just keep that in mind. Good old clear ears, clear hearing. And along with that, if you get blocked ears or feel like a sort of like a weird, like a humming noise or like I'm doing this because that's what it feels like sometimes, like a not like stuffing, but it's like a wadding as such, going kind of almost like when you're underwater, that feeling of how you can hear but you can't hear, that a muffling, that's probably the better way to put it. So if you notice a muffling that's happened this week, ask some questions around that and go, okay, so what is it that I'm not willing to listen to? And is it something, an awareness that your body has that you're not willing to listen to? Is it awareness of something somebody has said and you're trying to pretend in your mind like it isn't relevant to you, or it doesn't, or you maybe try to make it better if you just trust that what was said in the first place is actually true. You know how this is one of the things that people pleasers do really, really, really well. It's a fabulous skill, and it sort of ties in with the whole Pollyanna thing of no matter what someone says, you try to see the good in it. And sometimes people are actually quite honest, and they will tell you exactly what they think. And you may not be the one that wants to or desires or to actually hear it. So you try to work around it, make it softer, make it more palatable in your head. But this can actually create like this muffling sound or sensation in your ears, because it's like your body's saying, hey, take note here. You're not listening, dude. So, and equally for some people with the ear stuff, it can pop up as like a sharpness in the ear. So just my advice is notice it when it's little so it doesn't get really big. Okay, notice the signs, the signals when it's really light. Because if you don't notice it when it's light and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that's when it's going to start getting inconvenient. Purple, straight up purple, which is about developing mental clarity. So this one here is, again, it's linked to the one before of ears, but this is about mental clarity. So seek out your own intuition, seek out that feeling within, know how to do that. Use all the tools this week. If you've got choices to make this week or big decisions or whatever, use all your tools. If you've done sessions with me, you know how to use your pussy like as an awareness tool. If you've not done sessions with me, then you won't know that, but that's okay. There's always a chance that you could do it. However, you can use your body as a pendulum. You can tap into your heart, tap into your gut. Ask the questions with the truth on the front. That's why I often say truth. Because you can't lie to yourself when you say truth. And so that's why I say it to you guys. So with that, when you say truth and you go, what will it create if I do blah? What will it create? Truth. What will it create if I don't do blah? You'll get a sensation in your body. And that sensation will be either a really nice, light sort of feeling, or it will be a heavy, contracted feeling. And this is a tool that we have been doing this instinctually for a very, very long time, many, many generations. And some modalities like Access Consciousness calls it the light and heavy tool. They've given it a name. The rest of us just call it gut instinct, right? But we don't really describe it particularly well. That's the one thing that Access does do very well, is it talks about these sorts of tools very, very clearly. And hi, Catherine. So use all your tools of tapping into your awareness. If you're required to do things like cards or runes or pendulums or whatever else to help you get into that space, if you're required to do meditation to help you get into that space, then do it. Because it's going to help you with your mental clarity. Okay, when you're tapping into your awareness rather than just trying to nut it out in your ego, that's where you're going to make funky choices. Okay. So given that we're now in the 4D realm, this is why paying attention to your feelings is really important, because we're still figuring out in the majority, the whole collective is still trying to figure out just how to work with these emotional things. We're trying to figure out, how do we cope with them? How do we work with them? Are they good for us? Are they not good for us? Because we come from a 3D realm, which has been all about polarity, about right and wrong, good and bad, about judgment and rather than discernment. And now we're trying to figure out how all of this fits in together. And that's the beauty of this space, because it's preparing us for the 5D. So we won't be in this 4D space for very long. Maybe I get a sense of maybe a year or two, and then we'll be up into the more 5D. We'll still have people, it'll be like there'll be a straddle between 4 and 5 for a bit longer. But the sense that I get is that everybody's now out of 3. That's why people are struggling right now. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why, because now you're having to actually be responsible for your emotions. Oh shit! You've been able to push them away onto other people all this time and not take responsibility. Not anymore. It's good stuff. Super good stuff. All right. So yes, keep developing your mental clarity, and to do that, you've got to tap into your intuition and your awareness. Okay. The almost last card is orange, which is nurture yourself. I love this card. I think the start of this reading is all about, all right, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to, look for the signs and signals. We've got to be aware of our hearing. We've got to develop our mental clarity. Okay. And beautiful. Now we can nurture ourselves. So have your baths. Go to nature. Enjoy time with nature. Enjoy a cup of tea with a beautiful, valued friend. Do the crafty things if you love to do crafty things. Whatever works for you for nurturing. Tell me, everybody, what sort of things do you do that nurtures yourself? What sort of things? And if you're in a relationship, cool. If you're not, it doesn't matter. What I would like to know is, what sorts of things do you do to nurture you? And for me, when I'm in that space of, like, my body tells me when she requires a bath, and quite often it's that I've noticed since I've lived here, I require a bath when I'm requiring to process through or get further insight. Quite often it'll be teamed up with a meditation or something like that. So these sorts of energies float together. And then other times it'll be like today. I was just like, I require some quiet, some downtime. And so I listened to a podcast and did some crochet. These are ways that I nurture myself. I get creative quite often. But I also just love sitting with the trees. Absolutely love sitting with the trees and enjoying their wisdom. That's super nurturing. There is not too many trees where I live currently. It's sort of out in the plains where there's not a lot of grass and trees, where it's kind of but I could drive for 20 minutes or half an hour and I'd find some. Yeah, that sort of thing. What else do I do to nurture myself? I nurture myself also by dressing up for you guys. I love dressing up for you guys. It feels really nice to feel nice. And when I get to be here with you guys and enjoy the space and keep my skills tapped in and sharp, that feels like nurturing as well. I dance. I was moving some stuff through my body earlier today, and I was like, right, some sort of bigger emotions. And so, yeah, there was like a heavy metal song, and then there was a couple of other songs, and then there was a nice sort of gentle slow song. That's called swamping, and it's a tool from Mama Gina. I don't have any of her books in here, but yeah, that's a really good thing to do, to move energy through your body so that you can approach things from more of a space of mental clarity as well, right? So that's something to be aware of if you're one of my lovely ladies here. When emotional stuff is coming up, move your body. Okay. Tamara, she said, I've been in the pool and soaking up the sunshine this week. Fabulous. She takes herself off to a favorite cafe for a coffee once a week. And she gets in her car and plays the music loud and sing at the top of her lungs. Love a good dance session too. Yeah. When I was living with other people, I would quite often do the singing in my car thing because, yeah, there was I don't know if I could even say the name of it because YouTube's weird. But it's the song that I was dancing to earlier. If I jump back down to it, see if I can figure out how to say it differently. Where are you? You jumped to the top. Yeah, it has too. So it's a Rage Against the Machine song that was blah in the name of. So that was the first one. The second song that I danced away to was called Labor, which is by Paris Paloma. Very, very good song for when you're feeling maybe undervalued and perhaps even taken a little bit of advantage of, that sort of thing. Not that there's been a hell of a lot of that this week, but it was an energy that was coming up. And then I shifted to the song Hymn to Her, but the Orca version, which is a really lovely version. I really, really like that. And then I moved over to my usual songs that I do for as I come into the show tonight. But one of them was Savage Daughter by Sarah Hester Ross, her version of that, which is always cool. And then Witch's Rune by S.J. Tucker. So there's some behind the scenes of me getting ready for the podcast. Oh, dear. I always listen to music before I come in here so that I can just shake off whatever is from the week so I can be present with you all here. But yeah. Heavy metal music is brilliant for hard rock, is really, really good for getting those bigger emotions out. You know, and if you can get the right song that just hits the note, that just hits it really well. And that song by Rage Against the Machine is a pretty good one. There's another song, I don't know if I've got it on that playlist, but it's quite a good one for angry moments, you know. I don't know. No, it's not in there. No, I can't even think of what it is because now I'm getting the other Rage Against the Machine song. Yeah, I was going to read you basically Now Tomorrow if you want to hang. All right. So understanding is our yummy card for this week. So be understanding of yourself, be understanding. There's not the word understanding in here. Be compassionate towards yourself and towards others. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That's a lovely, lovely reading for the collective. All right. Tamara, what is your question if you would like to be now? Okay. Cool. Edwina, would you like to put your question in there? I don't know why my phone just decided that I must have been talking to it because I really was not. At what point did I say the Google word? I didn't. I said Edwina. Catherine, I like a soak in the bath with essential oils, sunset at the beach, and a swim. Aha, lovely. Oh, that just reminded me, Catherine. I haven't done it for a little while, actually. I should set it back up. I have like a little hammock swing, and I like sitting in that and just being sort of, I sit in it with my legs crossed and stuff. So it's very much in the fetal position in a lot of ways. And I sit and I just allow it to take my way and just enjoy the motion. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll even tie up a bit of rope to something solid, and I'll use that like a so I can continue the swing motion without having to use my legs. So yeah, fun. So yeah, I like to swing. And when I go to a playground, I haven't been to one for a long time now, but when I go to a playground, I love getting on the swings, and I lean back and it makes my nose all up in here go all tingly, and it makes me laugh so much. Oh dear. All right. Well, we just see you tomorrow. See you back. So I'm just waiting for Edwina. She's still floating around. She was here. While we're waiting for Edwina to write her question in the chat, I'm going to take you guys through the 90-second technique. All right. So just in this very moment in time, whatever you're feeling, absolutely whatever you're feeling, whether it be happy, sad, frustrated, angry, confused, whatever it might be, I'd like you to just close your eyes, put one hand on your heart and the other one on your belly. And I'd like you to just close your eyes and just breathe and count to 90. Sit with whatever emotion is coming up right now. And just quietly in your head count to 90. Lovely. And now that that's done, take a big deep breath in and open your eyes. And likely what's just happened in your body, and it might feel a bit like, wow, what the hell just happened? Wherever you were feeling that emotion, whatever part of your body you were feeling it, like I had some stuff just rolling around across my forehead and a little bit down the sides into the temples, like across here and into this temple particularly. It'll just go and just disappear. It's really cool. And it's part of the reason why I'm bringing that to you guys today. Again, number one, to actually do it with you, is so that you guys can have that real practical example of how effective that really super simple tool is. This is something you can absolutely teach to your kids or other friends or whatever, somebody who's feeling anxious. It's super, super easy, right? Because all you're doing is you're just holding space for yourself and counting to 90. That's the sum total of it. It doesn't matter what your breathing is like. It doesn't matter how you're positioned. It doesn't matter if your shoulders are up or down or whatever. It doesn't matter if you've got tears streaming down your face. It really, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you be present with whatever comes up and you just count to 90. That's it. And the funny thing is that the research shows that an emotion actually only lasts in your brain for 90 seconds. Easy, right? It's only the stories that we attach to that emotion that prevent it from completing. And this is not an unknown concept to me. I learned something similar to this back before I moved here. So we're 15 and a half, nearly 16 years ago now. And unfortunately, the person who taught me that no longer does that work anymore. I searched them up about maybe 5 years ago, no, it was before COVID, so maybe 6 or 7 years ago. They don't do it anymore. And I was like, oh gosh. And his name was Christopher Prime. So it's like full credit to him for teaching me and showing me this, not that technique specifically. He showed me something else, but bringing to me the awareness that emotions require to complete. And if they don't complete, what happens? We end up with all these half-processed emotions everywhere, and the body goes, oh, jeepers, I can't deal with that right now. Like the brain goes, oh, I can't deal with all of this right now. Oh, my God, I'm just going to farm it out to other parts of the body, and you guys can store it for now because, Jesus Christ, this is too much for me to deal with. And so that's what it does. And the cool thing is that we can help our body process. We can bring it out of storage, deal with it. It's all good. And in that moment, you feel safe, right? Because you're not in a dangerous situation. You're safe, you're centered, you're calm, and you're just allowing that emotion to come up. And it's like, oh, peace, peacefulness, yay. Something exciting that I did do this week was I ended up tapping into my Akashic records again. I haven't done that for a little while, so that was exciting. There was some certain information that I required to know, and I could feel it. It was tugging at me, and I was like, okay. Because when I tap into my Akash, it's very blunt. There's no airy fairiness about it. It's just like, and here's the straight up and down on this. It's like, oh, okay, cool. All right. If Edwina, are you here yet, darling? She popped in earlier to say hello and then disappeared again. Catherine, my sweet, would you like a rune reading? Because if you would, pop a question in the chat that you, or an issue, I should say. Pop an issue in the chat and I'll do a little rune reading for you so I can get some more practice with my runes. I've been doing, oh, hello, Edwina. There you are. I put out a call for you ages ago. That's okay. And if Catherine's still floating around, then I can do a rune reading for her. but only after maybe Edwina has had her card reading. So Edwina, would you like to put your question in the chat, please, so I can do you a card reading? That would be awesome. Okay, the question is, who's going to get their question in first? Is it going to be Edwina or is it going to be Catherine? Because whoever gets it in first, that's who I'll do first. Oh, dear. It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? So it'll only be a 3 rune. Oh, who's it going to be? Do. There we go. Edwina's first. Well done, Edwina. All right. Edwina, I'll pull 3 runes for you too, darling. The runes are very, very good at direct answers. But as I said, they are fabulous for giving you a possible outcome and then going from there. Oh, boy. Moving some energy, my love. Sorry. I was just thinking about the podcast I watched today. And they were talking about facial expressions and how some people just don't do well with the smiling. Like they do really well on like the competency side, but not so much on the warmth side. And the host of Diary of a CEO goes, I don't really like photos where I'm smiling. And she's like, why is that? And he goes, because I don't smile well. And he tried to. And then he did the old white eye thing. It's like, but I show way more teeth than he does. And so it was just a really funny thing. And I just saw a picture of somebody who was doing like, so that just popped into my head. So that's why I was giggling. Which makes me wonder, why is your team encouraging that into my brain? Oh, where are you grinning and bearing it, Edwina? I know you've had a great week, which is cool, and that you love your new job, which is awesome. And I also wonder, where are you grinning and bearing it? Where is it like, I'm just doing the thing, but the smile isn't really getting to my eyes because I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. one of the things that's coming through, so this is the card deck for today for you. It is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart by John Holland. Okay. And one of the lovely things about what I've been doing with the tarot, your old job, I'm finding it out to let it go. Hard? Are you finding it hard to let that one go? Gotta love, the phones, they do weird shit, right? So the cool thing about what I've been doing with the runes lately is that it's really helping me with developing my my intuition even further. So it's not just about what they technically are for, like they say. It's kind of like the cards in the book, right? So you'll see times where I'll not necessarily use the book because it's all about the intuition. And there's other times that I'll go, there's actually something specific within the book that you require to hear that I'm not quite getting on my own. And that's why I'll shift and change depending on what's required. But this one here says rebuild. And what I was getting with this one is this time in your life, and especially with this new job, there's going to be, yes, as you said, it's hard to let go of the old one. That's the whole and also with this rebuilding card that's come through, it's like there's an element of grief of leaving the old and moving into the new. And I also get with the new one that it's going to help you feel a hell of a lot more heart-centered and confident within yourself, which is really good. You required that. This new job is going to keep you, because the next card that you got is actually your heart chakra. All right. This space that you're in at the moment, there's going to be a lot of heart stuff coming up for you, like as in development and intuition. Your heart is going to speak very loudly. I'm not seeing any heart conditions, like physical conditions. It's more of like it'll feel, the sensations that I'm getting in my body at the moment are like that yucky, metally feeling coming up the back of the sides of my throat up into my mouth, of like something just when you're not paying attention to your heart and your heart awareness about what actually works for you, you're going to potentially get this feeling that rolls up your neck and into your mouth of like you've just bit down on some aluminium or something. Like it's not a pleasant feeling. So it's not something you ate. It's more of where you're not listening to your heart. Okay, so please be aware of that. I get a lot of positivity around this change for you and how it's allowing you to really be in your heart space again. And it's not this new one isn't devaluing you like the old one did. It's not breaking you apart like the old job did, right? And sometimes a transition is hard for us because it's like leaving the thing that we know, even if it's bad, even if it's toxic. So just keep that in mind. Your next card that you have is reach out. All right. So this is the whole thing of you're not doing this alone. You're not doing it alone from a spiritual sense. You're not doing it alone from a energetic sense. You're not doing it alone from a community sense either. So as you see, there's all sorts of different kinds of hands in there. Men's hands, women's hands, different coloured hands. So who have you not reached out to lately that could be super supportive of you if you allowed yourself to have that vulnerability? And I can almost guarantee right this second, somebody's just popped into your mind. Do not ignore that. Take some time, maybe not tonight because it's after 9 o'clock, and if that's something you can be okay with, then cool. But tomorrow, send them a message. Say, hey, I was thinking about you yesterday. How are you? Love to catch up. And even if it's just over the phone conversation, there's that moment of connection that will be really, really lovely. Okay. That was quick, Tamara. My goodness. The next card for you is share the love. Now, I've told you before, you have a lot of love to give. And I feel that in you. I feel that with you. You do have a lot of love to give. And it's okay to share that with others. It's also okay to receive it. Receive all that love that you give out all the time, every day, back to you. So what's actually popping into my mind is before you go to sleep tonight and for the next week, nobody else is allowed to do this tool, just Edwina, okay? And if you didn't know sarcasm, that was sarcasm. Before you go to sleep tonight, ask for all the love that you have gifted out to others to be returned to you 100-fold. Ask the universe for that. But only Edwina is allowed to do this tool. Nobody else. All right? And what you might start finding is that you'll wake up in the morning not feeling depleted and drained, because by asking for the universe to return that back, because when you put it out, it does multiply. All right? It's called the ripple effect. So it's about just receiving the ripple effect back into you. And it's about being open to receiving that. So it's not like you're taking away from anybody else, okay, just so that you're going, oh my God, but won't that mean that nobody else gets it? No. It's because as it comes back to you, then you can also put out more love for everybody else the next day. Okay, you have your reserves filled up at nighttime. I don't know where that tool came from. It's the first time I've ever spoken about it. So that was your team telling me. They told me to tell you that. Super cool. All right. Now, Edwina, do you have a specific Okay. No, I'm not even going to ask you that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask to show me. Okay. I'm going to ask the runes to show me the issue is Edwina connecting with others, including her friends. Okay, show me what we're required to know about that. I like these ones. They're a lot cheaper. And because they're made with my own little handos. Okay. All right. All right. So the first rune you've got is this little cool one. And so it's Tiwawas is this one. And what I get with this one, so this is the sort of the past or current issue. And the thing that really stood out for me on this one is that you have self-sacrificed so much that reaching out to others feels like it's almost too much. And because you've reached out because you have been there for everybody else, you've sacrificed so much within work and family and all, and with your home life and all of that sort of thing. It's almost like taking that moment to reach out to someone else is just like, it feels like more of a burden than anything else, because there's been so much self-sacrifice. So there's a belief there that self-sacrifice is where your worth comes from. And that can quite often be linked back to religious parents or family structures and things like that, where it's the whole point of view that it's better to give than receive. That's that. Okay, so that's the past/current issue. Or past current moment, more so than anything else. So the opposing force Okay, this is Uruz. Uruz. Let me hold it up the right way. Given that this is the opposing force or issue, it's where you believe that you have to be strong for everybody else. That you don't necessarily have the allowance to be vulnerable. Because when we reach out to our friends, our trusted girlfriends or whatever, yeah, there is some moments there of vulnerability. Okay. And when you're the one that is strong for everybody else, that level of vulnerability can feel quite hard to get over that little stumble block, that little block. So again, you don't have to be that. The people that are the most valuable in your life, the ones who care for you the most without judgment, you'll know, you'll feel it. And you'll be like, your body will relax around them. Okay? It's okay to be vulnerable. And if nobody else has ever said that to you, I'm telling you now. Okay? It's all right to be vulnerable. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. It's okay. It's all right to cry sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. Now, your potential outcome, if you do allow yourself to be vulnerable with others, it doesn't have to be with very many. Honestly, I have 2-3 people that get to hear, one person in particular gets to hear just about everything other than myself. And there's 2 others. That's it. So it doesn't have to be like a big screed of people. It could just be one person. It's okay. And that person does not have to be your husband either. Just saying. It's helpful if it is. But sometimes us girls require a female's ear rather than a male's. Because our approaches are different, right? And your possible outcome is this lovely little one here, which is monawas. There we go. And this is around awareness, the self, knowledge, collective consciousness of humanity. So as you allow yourself to soften that little bit more, as you allow yourself to connect with others that little bit more, what you're going to find is that you're actually able to have a greater connection with yourself, with the collective, with your spirit team, and you're going to be able to tap into your own awarenesses a lot easier. And that knowledge that is in the collective, in your Akash and all that sort of stuff, it's going to be heaps easier for you to access because you're not actually leaning on your masculine as much anymore. You're allowing yourself to be in your feminine. The feminine is all about collective. It's all about connection. We're not supposed to do this life alone. And I know what it's like to be in a relationship or in a crowded room or in a workplace where you feel, even though there's loads of people around you or whatever, and you feel so alone and lonely. I know what that's like. It's not great. And because that can be the case for so many of us, we tend to lean into our masculine at those points. So this is a nice little challenge for you to lean a little bit further into your feminine, into your lovely left-hand side. Love on your left. Alrighty. So that was a cool little reading. Love it. I love the runes. The runes are so good. All right. And your yummy card. Oops, that one. You literally tenderness. Okay. So you're going to be, it's the universe, your team, everything is really demanding of you to lean into your feminine now. Okay. And I'm so glad you feel very seen in your new job. So glad. Enjoy it. Enjoy that. So I think I can't remember if I told you guys, but a couple of months back, I had a brief moment because there was some ads popping up in my Facebook or wherever talking about, before I say all of that, thank you, Edwina, for your beautiful, kind, generous donation. I'm so grateful for you, and you are amazing, and I'm so appreciative of you and Find You Fridays and being a part of this community. I truly, truly am. So, as I was saying, I had a moment there where I was like, because as you guys know, from Monday to Thursday, I do cleaning. I do specialist cleaning. I do all sorts of things for this company. And I had a moment where I was like, maybe I could go and just do FIFO work, go fly in, fly out, do cleaning. Apparently it's got a starting rate of like 80 grand. And I'm not sure what the rotation would be. Probably be 2 weeks on, 1 week off, something like that. And when I tapped into it energetically, it was such a big fat no. And I realized what it was. It was because I would not be seen. I would not be appreciated. I would not have the variety of work that I do currently. And not to be over dramatic, but it would be almost soul destroying to do that work. And around that same time, I saw a video from Gary Vee who said, if you're on like $57,000 a year and you love your job, you've won. You're a success. If you're on $100,000 a year and you hate your job, you have not succeeded. You are not a success. The whole point in this life is to do the things that make you feel good. Then you're a success. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that. I feel that so much within me. And it was funny because in that moment, everything changed. It changed financially for me. It changed in my appreciation for my work. It had changed even more greater gratitude and appreciation for all of you guys. It was like everything just kind of went click, click, click in my head. And I just said, I have a great life. And I'm so grateful for it. I've managed to create a life and a space where I feel calm and peaceful. And it's good. Anyway, so Catherine, I'm going to quickly do a little runes for you. And then I will jump into tomorrow's. All right, so Monday. So please show us the possible outcome or what we require to know about Catherine and her Monday. Completely different ones. And one that's trying to escape. So let's get you out of the way for the minute. I like that they're a lot quieter because it's not so irritating to you guys when I'm shuffling them. All right. Alrighty, so things that have been happening in the past / the issue. Okay. So it appears that, so this is Sowilal is what it's called. And it means the sun. So the past stuff is around gaining awareness and looking at what are your goals? What have you been moving through? What challenges have you had? Because there's a lot of stuff that you've overcome to get to this point where you are today. And there's a space there of like, yeah, I did that thing, you know, and whatever preparation you had to do for Monday, it feels like you're on track. So that is sort of where this one is sitting right now. If there's any sort of issues and things like that that are coming up, We've got this one here, which is Haugelos. Haugelos? She says with a slight question mark, which actually means hail or stone. Disruption, wild power change, disruptive weather, storms, wrath of nature, uncontrolled forces. So, yes. So, given that this is the one that is sitting in the middle, which is things that are acting on the issue or maybe what the issue is about currently. So, obviously, what has happened in the past has been of a big, that's the reason for Monday's stuff anyway. And this is more of an acknowledgement of, yes, there has been a big disruption for you. And that the awareness that I'm getting with this is that, like any storm, it too passes. So that's more the message that I'm getting with this. It's like an acknowledgement of, yes, you've been through a lot to get to where you are, and it will be passing. Okay. And the possible outcome is right through, meaning right or journey, progress, stride, right order, right way, proceed, rationality, growth. All right, so let me just quickly tap in properly. Okay, what I'm hearing with this one is, as long as you have all of your ducks in a row, as long as you have whatever preparation you required to do, everything will actually be okay. If you're not prepared, then it won't be. But as long as you're prepared for all the possibilities, you'll be all good. It's kind of like, it's funny you should say the word sailing, because the analogy that they're giving me is like, it's like if you go sailing on a boat and you don't have all your ropes organized, or even on the boat, you can't sail a boat effectively without all the ropes, or maybe a couple of ropes missing. So whatever you have to do in preparation for Monday, please do it. And everything seems to be okay. It will be all right. It is going to be a little bit of a journey. And afterwards, I feel like you're going to be like, oh, thank goodness that's done. Even good things, when we have weddings and stuff, it's like, even as a guest attending a wedding, it's like afterwards, it's like, during it, it's like, yay, this is so cool. Yay, I'm so happy for them. But afterwards, you're just like, oh, whew, thank goodness that's done, right? So even a happy event can be a bit rough sometimes. But as long as you're prepared for whatever you require to contribute, you'll be fine. Okay? That's what I'm seeing from here. If you're not, that's when things can go a bit belly up. All right. Thank you for coming to play. Thank you for letting me play with you for a rune reading, Catherine. Appreciate it so much. Alrighty. Tamara. What's your question, my love? What cards would like to come and play with Tamara? Ooh, okay. Why are you asking me a past question? So this one, we have the wordy ones. Oh, fantastic, Catherine. I wish you guys all the best for the celebratory event. Yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it feels like there's been sort of a bit of chaos and stuff in there, but it's like it feels like everything's gonna go ahead just fine. Just be prepared for things. Even sorry, Tamara, I'll come back to you just a moment. This might sound weird, Catherine, but take needle and thread. I feel like if you have it and don't need it, then that's a good thing, but it's needing it and not having it. Oh, that's a nice way to change the wording of that, Tamara. Cool. So yeah, Catherine, needle and thread, scissors, just little ones. If you've got one of those little kits, no needle and thread kits, chuck it in your car. Oh dear. And a lighter? They're asking you to take a lighter with you. I don't know. Maybe somebody requires a candle to be lit. I don't know. So, yes. All right. So, Tamara, what I asked was, what does Tamara require to know for her week with all the changes and stuff that's been going on? So that's just so I could be clear with you as to the parameters of where this particular message comes from. And then I'm actually going to do runes for the 3 months ahead. Okay. So, these cards are so fun because they can be quite brutal. Had them for many, many years. You can't actually get this deck anymore. It is discontinued. So it says, do not safeguard the current situation, for it will be disrupted anyway. Instead, try to face honestly what is before you. Okay? Now, as you can see, there's this capital words here in capital letters. And you'll see in the next couple of cards, there's also some more. And what often happens is that reading across the cards, however many cards there are, adds an additional message, which is really, really cool. And I love that about these cards. All right. So that's about protection, isn't it? Do not attempt to safeguard this current situation, for it will be disrupted anyway. All right. So it's kind of like, shit's going to change. Maybe your approach is going to change to it. Maybe your ability to, like, basically you're not going to be able to control this at all. Okay. Just one moment. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. They've been banned. They can't hear me now. That was just a very strange comment. So, yes. Try not to control this too much. All right. Whatever's being created, you're going to have to just kind of let it flow a bit, because it's going to move and evolve is the word that I'm hearing. Okay. This next card is now is the time for much pleasure and satisfaction. Yay! Be happy and rejoice in the moment. Okay. So this is about acknowledging, yes, you've done so much work. You've done so much, internal, external, you've done all the things. All right? You've done all the things. It's okay now to take acknowledgement and enjoy this moment of going, fuck yeah, I did that. Yeah. All right? I love it. You got, out of 3 cards, you ended up with 2 very similar messages. Indulge yourself and your ambition. Your hard work and cleverness will pay off. Allow yourself the confidence to shine. All right. The thing I like about these cards is they're very to the point. And with that one there, it's saying very much you're allowed to be proud of what you've done and what you've achieved. Okay. And it is absolutely time to shine. It's absolutely time to just slough off any of that old shit that is preventing you from being that front person of your business. Okay. So it says, honestly, rejoice in the moment and shine. That's the message across the 3 cards. Oh, dear. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Sometimes we just have to pivot. Sometimes things are not working out the way we think they would or should. And we just have to pivot. And it's okay. It's a good thing to do. This is one of those moments where I kind of wish I had an overhead camera for you guys so you could see what I can see. I love these rooms. That's so cool. Alrighty. So your past, we have So Willow has made an appearance again. All right. So this is the past / sort of current issue. And this is about, for you, good guidance, wholeness, awareness, hope, goals achieved, individual victory, and honor. Okay. So as you can see and probably feel, that energy of a long, hard journey. And it's like, yes, victory, right? That process of leaving the safe, secure job and diving in and doing your business. Wow, so much courage, so much bravery to do that. And with that, your awareness has ramped up heaps. You're knocking those goals out, and you're honoring yourself. You're honoring your life purpose, and that's really fucking cool too. All right. So that's the past stuff. Your current opposing force is Awensus. Awensus. which is about the mind, the voice within, signals, inspiration, true vision, self-knowledge. So this is where it's basically saying to you, stop overthinking it. Your opposing force to the success of the next 3 months is about making sure that you keep that bajillion miles an hour hyperfixation / over dramatizing / what's it called? The one where it's like always sort of going to worst case scenario in the first instance is like all of that. That's your opposing force to work with and be aware of for the next 3 months. It's like, what if instead of putting all of that energy into what could go wrong, move the energy over to what could go right? Instead of going, like when we go to do, I think you probably work with the car parking fairies or gods, instead of saying, I never find a good park here, changing that energy and going, oh, I wonder what perfect park we can find today. Right? Same amount of energy, so much easier. Because now the outcome of that is that, number one, you tend to find a pretty close park. Might not be the closest, but it could be a pretty close one. And you're not parking all the way 50 bajillion miles away. So you're not physically having to do as much. All right. So when you find yourself doing that, like hyperfixation or over dramatizing or just putting so much energy into what could go wrong, catch yourself and go, oh, that's not really where I wish to put my energy. What could go right here? What success could I actually have here? What success would I like to have? And then you can also then start talking to your business as well and having those conversations with the business. Okay, so what success would we like to have? What do you perceive? It's pretty cool stuff. And your outcome, if you follow that, but possible outcome for the next 3 months. All right. So we got Oath. It's called Oath, Our Law. Or Law. Or Law. Oath or Law. Forgive me for trying to learn how to say these runes. What this one means is property. This is about inherited property or possessions, aid in physical, spiritual journeys, ancestral homeland. So this next 3 months will feel like a coming home for you. And while if you don't allow yourself to get caught up in monkey mind, this is what you'll feel like. It'll feel like you're coming home to you. You'll feel safe. You'll feel secure. You know, the part of going out on like an overseas trip or an overseas journey is that joyous moment when you get to land back home. And it's like, I feel it. Oh, this feels good today. You know, that is what this is all about. So this next 3 months is going to be about you coming home to you, as long as you keep being aware of what strange thoughts or beliefs or points of views are popping up in your head. Okay. Thank you, runes. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for your very kind donation. I'm so grateful for you. And I hope that rune reading helps as well. So yes, for the next 3 months, honestly, rejoice in the moment and shine. Because you're doing great. You really, truly are. And just be an allowance that things may shift and change given what's happened in the last week or so. Okay? It's wonderful. All right. I would like to do rejoice and shine. Yep, exactly. I think, let's see, what are we at? Hour and a half. Cool. I think we should do some poetry. What do you reckon? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love it when we have lots of people. I also love it when there's only a few of you because then I can give more extra fun little things. All right. So first of all, we're going to okay. I was just asking my team. We are going to do the expanding out tool first. Then we're going to do this asking our numbers, and then we are going to get back into it. And then I'll do your little intuitive poetry reading. All right. So close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in and out. Breathing in. Bring your Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out. Bring your Father Sky energy all the way down. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Expanding out your awareness in a big bubble all around you. Expanding out your awareness to the size of the room that you're in. And then up into the sky, down into the earth, bigger than the house that you're in or the building you're in. Bigger than the country that you're on. Bigger than the planet. Expanding out your awareness. Larger than the solar system. Greater than the galaxies. And then greater than the universes. Fantastic. Now, truth. For this week to come, what number between and including 1 and 88 is going to be of the greatest contribution to this week? Please put that in the chat now. Woohoo! Tomorrow's 78. 78's a bloody good year. Just saying. Oh dear. Interesting one to choose. This is not one that I have read in a very long time. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I think there's young ones doing burnouts down my street. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably not. It's like, oh my goodness. Every now and then I see like big tire marks down the street, and I'm just like, young people with way too much money to burn, clearly. Tamara, I forgot we're of the same year. All right. The dark place revisited. Tears floating down into the nothingness of my heart. Blank and empty, a false entity. Feelings so hard, it becomes numb. Petrified of the dark void in the place deep inside. Frightened of falling into that dark place, struggling to get out, exhausted. So this week to come, I would be very mindful for you of making sure that you do nourish and nurture yourself. Maybe that was why I had to come back to that 90-second technique. Oh shit, were you here for that? No, you weren't, but I know we've spoken about it. Please use the 90-second technique this week. If you start feeling some of those old, outdated feelings coming up particularly from past relationships, please honor them, sit with them, and let them process all the way through for the count of 90. Okay. One of the hardest parts about those old hurts is that we often don't allow them to fully complete. So they do get shoved down. But the thing is, at the moment, they're all coming up. And so there's potentially something that's going to come up this week that's going to activate that's going to trigger it a little bit. And this is your warning. It's a bit of a heads up to say, hey, you might have a little bit of a rough moment. It's okay. We're here. And just take care of yourself, okay? So, yeah, those not nice feelings about your ex. All right. Don't put any story onto them. Just come back to your heart. Put your hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Count to 90. Feel it. Don't attach story to it. Just count to 90. Okay? And what will happen at the end of the 90 seconds or thereabouts, by the time you count to 90, it will just go and it will relax. It'll go. Okay? You might then end up with another wave that pops up, perhaps, a minute or two later, especially when it's really intense stuff. You might have another moment that just pops up, another wave. Just sit with it again. It's kind of like, when kids throw tantrums, and when you actively just sit with them, they eventually putter themselves out. There was fun fact. So many of you know like the energy body process of the bars, right? It's a hands on the head body process. And when you're taught that you can't do it at a distance. It has to be hands on the body. And I decided that I would test this theory out with this when I was a nanny. And one of the kids was absolutely spinning out. He was just losing his shit. I can't even remember what it was over. It doesn't really matter. But he was in his bedroom and he was like a little tornado hurricane. He'd had some trauma issues in the previous 6 months, and he was still processing. I could tell he was still processing a lot of stuff. And I ended up I knew I was safe, and I just sat down in the middle of his floor cross-legged, and started to run his bars, but as if he was sitting with his head in my lap. And I just did the finger positions. And it was about, when I'd physically run his bars, I could do his entire set in 10 minutes. Like, he was so super quick, which is pretty normal for kids. It took him about, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, before he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." And he goes, "What are you doing with your fingers?" And I said, "Nothing, just practicing." And he was like, as soon as he connected with me, his energy started to drop. That really high intensity stuff started to chill out. And by the time I was about halfway through the movements, and I only did, I think, maybe 15, 20 seconds on each one. By the time I got about halfway through them, he was lying down on his bed and just like looking at the ceiling. I wasn't even touching him. And I was just like, "Oh, you little cutie." Okay. So I finished it off, did all the process, just quietly, didn't say anything. And then I looked at him and I said, "All right, so we're good to go out in the lounge now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Cool." So very much that 90-second technique is about acknowledging that raging little kid inside of us that's going. Just sit with it. Just be calm. Just sit with it. Allow it to process. And it's like, okay, we're good. Okay? Enjoy. 48 for Melinda. All right. My pledge. I'm not talking about the furniture cleaner. As another day draws to a close, you're near me, telling me that you love me, reassuring me that you'll never leave for something minute. And one day I hope I'll believe. And when that day comes, that'll be when I'm ready to commit to you forever. That last bit's irrelevant. Melinda, were you very close to one of your grandmas? Because that's who I feel like has just stepped in. And she has so much love there for you. And she just really wishes to see you very, very happy. And she knows how hard you've done it. And with all that you're dealing with and all that you've had to deal with your family and your dad and everything, and she wishes to just let you know that she loves you so very, very much. And she's sorry that your dad is such a prat. she almost wants to swear, but she's too prim and proper for that. She doesn't want to swear, which is cool. But the energy is absolutely there. And it's like at the end of each day, she's telling you she loves you and that she's there for you and she's close to you. And that when the time comes and you do get your next loving partner in, she's still going to be there. Because she cares about you to the end of your days. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. So the information that she just gave, God, mediumship skills are crazy, is that she said, in many other lifetimes, you two have been sisters. This is the first lifetime where she's been your grandmother. And while it was a privilege to be your grandmother, she said she wishes that you had have been sisters so that you wouldn't feel so alone right now. I'm getting this. So if you feel her, if you feel like a little gentle rub or a feather light touch across your cheek, it's your grandma. Okay. She's lovely. Really, really lovely. Oh, wow. Just give me a moment with that one. Grandparents. Yeah, super, super sweet. Super, super, super sweet. And the interesting thing is that when it comes to your dad, like, she's been passed over long enough to see the overall overarching journey. She can now see the whole picture, if you like. And while she acknowledges that he is choosing things that I it's that thing of, I didn't raise him to be that way. She's a bit miffed in that regard. Yet equally, she's also seeing there is a greater purpose here. And a greater purpose for you and your sister. And there's a lot of karmic stuff that he's having to work through this lifetime. And he's not handling it well. And so there's an acknowledgement there on that one too. Yeah. So she doesn't approve of his behavior at all. And she can also see that there is reasons for it. So it's kind of like feeling a bit torn about it. Doesn't change the fact that she loves you very deeply, though. Paul from America. Woohoo! For those of you in Facebook land, you can't see this. All right. Morning, Lorene. Seeing Graceland next week. Oh, you travel around a lot. I love it. It would have been my mum's 80th birthday. Oh. Mum passed away. We're celebrating celebrating. Never saw it before. Mum saw it 12 times. Wow. Do I think that Graceland is haunted? Let us ask the community too. I would like to know. What is your awareness? Do you believe that Graceland is haunted? Has some happy little spirits floating around there? My awareness says yes. My awareness absolutely says yes. Oh dear. Oh. See? So, Paul, the biggest thing with places and spaces that are inhabited by other beings or beings in the spiritual realm is, unless you're particularly open to it, you probably won't feel much. And I imagine you'd be going on a tour, so there'll be heaps of you there. Even if the spirits are like, hi, we're here, it'll be so diluted because you're on a tour. What you can feel quite often, if you're aware, even in a group situation, is the energy that's embedded into the walls and the floors. So the way I'm thinking about that is when I went to the jail in like a jail tour in Napier in New Zealand on the east coast, it's in Hawke's Bay. And obviously a jail where they used to do hangings and things like that is a bit different from Graceland. But still, there's a lot of energy that's embedded into the building. And that if you're quiet enough, if you manage to have a moment where you're just kind of a little bit more still and have a little breath, you can feel it. Absolutely. Quite often, though, we're so busy looking around, and if we're allowed to take photos, we take photos. We're all blah, 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 blah. There's all the chitter-chatter from people around you. There's the tour guide going blah, 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 doing their thing. And yeah, I was aware, actually, funnily enough, that you couldn't go up the stairway now because that's to do with, if I remember rightly, there was some specific rooms up there which are they're sacred to the family, and they just don't wish to have just any old Tom, Dick and Harry's energies, footprints, potential sabotage or disrespect to those rooms anymore. How I know that? I think I watched something a little while back about it. I'm not a big Elvis fan at all. I've known loads of people that are, and I guess every now and then that sort of stuff just slips into my viewing stuff. But yes, architecture, however, is something that I am fascinated by. So when we combine my first love of architecture with my really big love of the energy and spirit world, well, you put those two little things together and you come up with some very interesting results. So yes, I would say the energies are absolutely still there. So truth, has Elvis moved on? I get a no. I get a sense that he quite likes he quite likes the fact that his memory is still living on there. There was a lot of him in that building, in that property. And there always will. There probably always will be, as long as he's got a family line continuing. If his bloodline is still continuing, I get the sense that he's going to stick around. Yeah, let us know what happens. Let us know if you feel anything. I haven't been that I know of, in a building that's had lots of super positive experiences where the person has passed as such. Actually, that's not even true. Yes, if you're quiet enough, you will feel it. Even the nice positive stuff, if you're quiet enough, if you're aware enough. I was thinking about one of my ex's houses, and yeah, he's still got the previous owner floating around. The previous owner doesn't like it when he starts working on the house when he's drunk and angry. He makes the house go really, really cold and uncomfortable. So, and that's really funny. I love it. I think it's great. Me and that particular ghostie had a great relationship, though, because I respected him. I respected the fact that he was there, and you know, it was his house. He was the caretaker of it. All right, back to Melinda. Just a moment. Yes, my sister and I thought he had loads of karma stuff, and we had to do what we have to do to heal ourselves and our ancestral line as well. Yeah, your Nana. She's super cool. I love it. Okay, and jumping all the way back up to Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Yes, your mum will absolutely be with you, Paul. 100%. She's so excited. 72 for Catherine. Hi, Catherine's too. Hello. Morning sky. The fiery red sky reflected from the golden glow below. The red blip distracting from the flow of gold, easing out into the valley like a long snake unfurling from slumber. This, for you, Catherine, is a moment to remind you to be very present in the moment. Observe all of those little details. Have them in your mind. Commit them to memory. Like a painting. And because this week to come is a special week for you. And the way that this is described, it's like I remember distinctly standing at this window in the morning, watching as the sun rose just slightly and seeing the twinkling lights of Napier City around the bay, and just the colors, the way they danced, and of the water and the sand and throughout the sky, and of the buildings in the distance. And it was just magical. So this is a reminder to you this week. Commit those magical moments to memory. Be present. And if you're artistic or creative, use it as inspiration. Okay? Oh, that was really cool. Oh, off to work. Have a great weekend. And tell you next week. Yay! Okay, bye, Paul. I love it. Pop in, pop out. Off he goes. So yeah, Catherine, definitely. Just be present. Present for those magical moments. Oh, Paul, I was going to ask, how did your nephew's play go? How was his name? Liam, maybe? How did his play go, if you're still floating around? I think you said that you're going off to work, but maybe I'll have to try and remember next week. Oh, yeah, you're still there. He was a hit. Fabulous. Did I remember his name correctly? Kids plays can always be a bit yay, I did remember rightly. Woohoo, Liam. So happy with myself for remembering. Now you'll have to tell him, oh, she remembered you. Thank you, Catherine, for coming to play. So super cool. Artistic. I like it. There's so many different ways we can be artistic, isn't there? It's like we can be artistic with like scrapbooking or painting or mosaics or collage and all sorts of collage is a whole other thing too, like collage of like multiple pictures. You can do collage of papers. Like one of the most amazing pieces of art that I've seen in more recent years was this guy who used only black and white paper, and he would spend basquillions of hours, so many hours you couldn't even think, cutting by hand all of these pieces of paper to layer them up in such a way that it created a 3D effect of an image. Like it might be a person, like their face, it might be an animal, it might be he did all sorts of things. And the amount of detail and intricacy and the intensity of time and effort and patience that would have taken just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. And I can't remember who it was, like what his name is now, but I very much remember his work. So it's like if I ever saw it again, I'd be like, I've seen your work before. So yeah, super cool. So whatever way is easy for you to, as you said, cement the beautiful moments. Oh, we can be creative through music. I forgot about that one. Super cool. I normally have warm water for the show, but I didn't click my little, I've got this, I don't know if I can show you guys. I've got this little plate that sits, no, I can't show you. And it's USB, and it's got like a little warming. It's a warming plate in it, but I forgot to make sure that my glass had clicked down. So I was expecting warm water, and it got cold instead. That was the reason for my funny facials. All right, it's time for a meditation. Just double check, make sure that nothing else has popped through. Because you ladies are awesome. All right. Ooh, hey, that's cool. All right. Cool. So, he said Lorene is a cool dude. She's not a dude. She's a lady. Laughing out. This is true. I am a lady. I might not always behave like one, but I am still a lady. All right. Everybody, close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in. And out. Centering yourself once again. Relax your shoulders. Keep your breath low and deep. And now imagine that there is a big white light, beautiful opalescent light shining into your heart, coming down your body, through your legs, through your feet, down into the center of Mother Earth, curling around the center of Mother Earth, and then moving all the way back up through all the crystalline layers, through your feet, through your legs, through your pelvis, through your torso, all the way up, through the crown, creating a big bubble above your head. Now imagine that you're inside that bubble, and now the bubble is floating up higher and higher through the golden light and the dark light, through the rainbow jelly light clouds and the pink misty clouds, floating up higher and higher till you see the big opening, and there is bright white opalescent light streaming through that opening. Move through that opening now until you're completely surrounded by the bright white opalescent light of the seventh plane of Theta. It might feel like you're standing underneath the sun, and the sun's warm rays of unconditional love are shining down all over you. Take a big deep breath in and out, and as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. And when you breathe in this time, the unconditional love will flow through every single cell and molecule of your body with your breath. And now we're going to do some healing. Remembering, of course, that this space of Theta, infinite possibilities are here. Instantaneous healing is possible here. The only thing that prevents you from having that is your willingness to receive without judgment, without projections or expectations. To be just present in the moment. The only thing stopping you from being able to receive all that you desire in this plane and in this moment is you. Because the seventh plane has absolutely no judgment of you. There is no projections or expectations of you. It just is. It just is unconditional love. That's it. Now imagine that all around you is beautiful orange sunflowers. And they're at all different heights. And their big, beautiful flower heads are facing all sorts of ways, but there's heaps of them that are facing towards you. And of those flowers that are all around you, those beautiful big orange sunflowers, the energy of the sunflowers, that beautiful orange, is moving all around your body, helping you to feel nurtured and safe, along with the unconditional love, that beautiful bright white opalescent light. They are weaving together, this place where you can be calm and open and vulnerable, and tapping into the truth of your delicious love for self, for your community, for your family, for everything and everyone. And now that we've got a lovely safe space for you, and it's all nice and soft and squishy, I'd like you to now imagine coming out of the sky above you are big purple flowers, and they look a bit like a trumpet. And they're moving down towards you, but not too close. Probably about 2 feet to a meter away from you. These big purple trumpet-like flowers are now going to start, with your permission, removing all of the points of views and belief systems that you have, any energies that you have that is preventing you from having deep mental clarity. These big purple flowers are sucking all of that heavy, heavy energy, those judgments about your skill level, or your experience levels, your comparisons to others, your belief that you should be further on through than what you are. All of that is being removed from your body and from your brain. The fears of failure, that's all being removed from your system right now. And you're being well supported by the beautiful orange sunflowers and the unconditional love, giving you the confidence to let go of all of these energies that no longer serve you. No, they don't serve you in your personal life, your professional life. They do not serve you anymore. Removing those energies from all the times where you believed that what you heard was not the truth because somebody else said it wasn't. And that then made you feel like you couldn't trust your own intuition. Every time that your awareness has been devalued, all of that is being sucked out by those big, beautiful purple flowers right now. Leaving your system, leaving your body, leaving your ears and your mind. Those big, beautiful purple flowers, now that they're done, they're going to close up their petals and take all of that energy up to Creator to be cleansed and cleared and never to return to you again. You look up and you smile at those big, beautiful purple flowers as they float up higher and higher away from you, knowing that that energy can now go towards something that's good. And now swirling around from the crown and a big streamer of light, the color of mauve, moves over and through your head, your ears, your brain, giving you such clarity and clear hearing to the extent that you've never had before in this lifetime. The ability to connect to your body, the ability to connect to and hear your being, your spirit team, the ability to connect to and be aware and hear your loved ones, your work colleagues, your business. And with all of this comes an innate sense of confidence, absolute confidence in yourself, your abilities, your awarenesses, again to a level that you've never experienced before. That beautiful purple light continues to swirl around your head and slightly into your throat, where it changes ever so slightly to that plummy colour, so that you can also speak up and recognize those possibilities as they come through that you're now aware of. Taking all of that tension and stress away from your neck and your shoulders. And now the mauve light leaves your body, having contributed to you and all that you required. And as the mauve light moves up and away, the sunflowers, the orange of the sunflower now floods your body from your feet all the way up, through your fingers, through your arms, through your shoulders, through your throat and your neck, all the way up, the root to the crown, nurturing and nourishing your body. From that energy of plants, crystalline energies, unconditional love, and wherever else you feel unconditional love. Perhaps it's from past over loved ones, from your spirit team. All of that is now flooding your body from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head and beyond. And now finally, all the flowers move away, they disappear, they fade into the background. And because we're now finishing off this beautiful process, you can do an energy break and zip up. And now imagine that there's this beautiful shower of light, of unconditional love, of bright white opalescent light, just floating down over you, over your body. Just the most warm, soothing, beautiful light, showering you as if you're in a luxurious spa. Beautiful. And now we're going to float down out of seventh plane with our absolutely clear hearing and clear minds. All the way back through to your physical body, where you now imagine that you're standing underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall and the water is flowing over and through your body. And now stepping out onto the big, beautiful river rock where you feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. Taking a big, deep breath in and breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And finally, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Please remember to drink some water now. Maybe have something a little salty. take care this week. Be nurturing and loving. And until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, and be you, my beautiful friend. I'll see you soon.